So we're actually recording this. This is now on and live and popping. So
Let's get it.
My guy, I am the enhancement. Love the shirt.
Yeah, bro.
Love
That's how I feel, man.
That's it.
That's how I feel.
So Mike, tell me a little bit about, first off, Ideal Barbershop and how you even got here. You know what I mean? Like the journey. Obviously, I've been cutting with you. I've been a client for, 10 years. Because 2 years before being married, been married for 8. At least 2, maybe 11, 12 years.
2009, 2010.
Yeah. So I've been, along the journey, but I feel like it's been like 2 years of like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So how did we get here?
Yeah. Man, how did we get here? We are in year 4.5 of Ideal Barbershop, bro. So we opened 4.5 years ago. Did something pretty, I guess, controversial for a barbershop. Like, it's just different to have a barbershop that doesn't take walk-ins. So I think that was the first leap, was saying, I'm going to open a space with 5 barbers, and we're not accepting walk-ins.
That's what you call a risk, my friend.
Yeah. So that's where the energy started for me, bro. It was like from that point on, I was like, I know I can do this. I just have to prove it now. So it was that immediate pressure just to show up for the team, because I knew as an individual I can do it, right? If I had my own personal suite, I don't need walk-ins. But to actually support a shop without people walking in your door as a barbershop, it's different.
Would you suggest this model for other barbers?
It depends on where they're at with their journey. So new barber, nah, not out the gate.
It's so interesting because I'm so curious about your business all the time, and I find myself like learning so much about the model. And one thing I love about no walk-ins is the quality of your client. I think by having no walk-ins and no just pop-ups like that, you almost customize your avatar. So maybe a normal barber that takes walk-ins or on a busy street or whatever the case may be, they might see more people, but their residual and their returns, like they're not there.
Yeah, in the beginning, like any business, bro, it's about volume, right? So if you're a new barber, you just got to get your name out there. You just got to put hair on the floor.
Yep.
You can't be picky about, I only want this type of client, I only want this type of haircut.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm only doing these days. Nah, you need to be open probably 6, sometimes 7 days if you're just starting.
Yep.
Set your hours so it's still doable. But I wanted to what you just said, to echo what you just said, I wanted to set a standard for the type of clients that we wanted in our shop. Because typically in a new barber shop, it's a walk-in base, so barbers are just sitting around all day.
Yep.
And I wanted to maximize not only the square footage, because it's a small shop.
Yep.
We have about 800 square feet, roughly. So I wanted to maximize the square footage and place people in a certain way so it fits, so it flows, but also maximize the time.
Yes. And what I've noticed too is like the barbers that stick with you, like their success rate after, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 months is like, you're going to be good.
Yeah, it starts to
click. It's like you got a 90-day run. And if you can
get through those 90 days.
You can get through those 90 days. Those barbers looked like they're booked, like 6-figure barbers.
Yep.
And so, like, it's just like, all right, being patient and helping them understand, like, you're not getting those walk-ins that you might normally get, but your job is not technically done.
It's definitely not done. Nah, but I can just speak to Newland. He's the most recent barber who just hit a year.
Yep.
And when we first was talking about him coming on, he was referred to me by a dude I used to go to barber school with. He was like, bro, I got this new barber. He's experienced, but he's just now getting to a point where he can have his own, get into a barber shop.
Yeah.
So I talked with Newland and was like, yeah, bro, try this out. You know what I mean? I think we work for you. I see your skill set. You just need some structure. So we put you in an environment that, you know, you can help you grow.
Yeah.
And he was like, so, I mean, he's like, I don't know, bro. You on the second floor.
In the corner.
Yeah, I mean, ain't no outside signage. No walk-ins, like none.
But such a great area. I mean,
yeah, man. Barbershops thrive off of your, and I said this recently, you have about a half a mile to a mile radius around your shop. If you can dominate that market, forget social media for a second. Forget billboards for a second. Forget handing out your business cards in the grocery. I'm talking about just around your location. They just need to know you're there.
I mean, you introduced me to that area, really. Like Enzo, that was our first building.
Yeah. That's
that
right.
was our first ever building. So I knew Enzo.
Right there off of Glenwood.
Yep, right there.
Bill Kennedy.
Yep, Bill Kennedy. That's it. So Enzo was our first ever building with Torch. And so I was very familiar with that area. But, like, the fact that you took that suite and, like, that was the perfect area for that. Like, I don't know, although your skill set improves and marketing improves, but that area was perfect for what you was doing too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely intentional. I knew our target client was like my client, and I knew I wanted to have a shop full of like-minded barbers and clients who just felt comfortable in the space. Because that's one of the things that's overlooked in the shop, man. Yeah, you have to be able to cut hair, right? That's kind of the fundamentals. But outside of that, people have to feel like they belong, right?
100%.
So, so that was the focus, man. Like that area, you know how Grant Park is, and with the Beltline, as fast as everything's growing around there, I just knew I wanted to have a space there. Like it don't have to be huge. I just know I wanted to have a presence right there.
Yep.
And it's so close to downtown. So as far as access, because I was leaving from Buckhead, so it was a risky thing to leave Buckhead and Lindbergh and then move to a totally different side of town.
Oh yeah.
But being at the intersection of 20, being right there, 75 is right there. So
and like I said, I mean, just to watch it is amazing. So obviously you've been able to have and build these six-figure barbers and like help them grow. So now you're building this course.
Yes, sir.
and that's like now it's like a whole nother challenge.
Yes,
because
sir.
You're talking to maybe 200 people at a time now, where at first it was 5, and you can sew into them.
Yeah, man.
Like, why did you start the course, and like, what's your goal with this?
I told you before when I was cutting in the shop in Buckhead, I just didn't feel comfortable anymore. Like I knew that there was more that I needed to be doing. So at a certain point, I was cutting most of the time with listening to something. I was listening to a podcast, listening to an ebook.
Yep.
Listen to Audible, not ebook, listen to an Audible book. But that same feeling came like year 2 at Ideal.
Yeah.
Knowing that I'm doing well and I'm helping others do well, but there's still more to this story, right? To this journey. So I'm looking at it as if I'm opening up another barbershop, bro. I'm just flipping it from being just a barbershop owner to 5 barbers to now.
I love it.
I'm a shop owner for the online barbershop of Instagram, of social media.
I love it.
Social media is now, the way I look at it from a barber's perspective, it's a huge barbershop.
I love it.
And like, think of it like this, because in a typical barbershop, right, where do the best barbers sit?
In the front?
Right in the front.
Yep.
So when you walk in, you see their work. You know what I mean? They're kind of holding the flag of the barbershop, like this kind of stuff you're gonna expect.
Oh yeah.
You can expect when you get here.
Yeah.
So people walk in, and even if they don't know that barber, they see their work. They know that if they're in the front, they gotta be dope.
Exactly.
They gotta be dope.
Yep.
Instagram's kind of the same way. Around 2014, 2015 on Instagram.
Yep.
If you, as a barber stylist, if you were posting on a regular, it doesn't have to be the dopest work, but if you were posting on the regular, you now were sitting in the front seat of the shop. So you got a lot of views, you got a lot of likes, and it boosted your brand. It boosted your presence on social media.
Yep.
So other barbers, you know what I mean? For me, I wasn't really quick with social media, bro. I used it as a, you know what I mean? I was posting pictures of my shoes, you know what I mean? Like my plate. You know how you do. Early 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
Got some new kicks, you just post a picture of your kicks.
Yeah.
That was me. Like I was posting haircuts here and there, but I was already at 6 figures.
Yep.
So I didn't really feel like I needed to use social media, right? I wasn't into the brand building at that time.
Yeah, and you had a full book of business.
I was booked. Yeah, I was good.
It wasn't like you had to do that to basically get clients.
And I wasn't thinking anything bigger than just my chair at that time. So the way that I'm thinking about my position now in the industry is I wanted to build myself or I wanted to build the awareness of me as a thought leader in the industry.
Yeah,
so I'm giving free game on my social. You can see that. But it's for the purpose of letting people know that I can be a resource. You know what I mean? And I don't think you have to work in my shop for me to be a resource, because most of the stuff I've been teaching my barbers isn't needed for them. What I mean by that is I'm teaching them more about the structure and the consultations and, you know, some of the tips to cut hair. You don't have to be cutting right next to me to learn that stuff.
Exactly.
So I'm now jumping in and saying, look, online barbershop being Instagram, being social media, I can be a resource to y'all, help y'all grow, because I've done it with, you know, a few barbers in person.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I immediately thought of Kelly. You know,
bro.
Like
that's the homie.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Watching him come in. And if I'm not mistaken, did Kelly cut before then?
So Kelly started off as a client, bro.
Yeah,
Kelly was going to me in Buckhead, and he was like, it's a funny story because he was going to another barber in the shop, and he wasn't quite satisfied, but he didn't say anything. You know, sometimes you're loyal.
Oh, yeah.
Your hairline might be jacked up, but you're loyal. That's another conversation.
And he's married. Man. He was married and loyal.
Married and loyal. You know what I mean? He just didn't. It can be an awkward vibe moving from one barber to the next in your shop, man. Like most shops don't really have that dynamic to where barbers are cool with a client leaving their chair and going to the next chair. Yeah. Like, it's beef now. Now we don't even speak to me when you walk in.
Yo, you need to post on Instagram about the low key beef.
The numbers getting deleted. I'm blocking you on social media.
That's my client, B. That's my client.
Yeah, bro. So the tension between barbers is always there. Well, it typically is there if you were to quote unquote steal a client, and then for a client, they feel like, oh, I gotta be loyal. Like even if he's messing me up, I gotta make that sacrifice. So Kelly, he was like, bro, he said he booked an appointment on my schedule. He's like, hey man, great to meet you, man. I've seen your work. He said, but I had to wait until my barber's off day.
The fact that man went through that type of trauma just to get a good haircut is crazy. Yo,
I had to wait till my barber's off day to see you, bro, because I ain't want to.
Is Jamar in today?
I ain't want to be awkward. So I kind of
put me on.
So I watched. You know what I mean? I knew he didn't work on Tuesdays. Yeah. So I'm here, bro. I just want you to I just want you to take care of me, man. So that's how it started, man. And we found out we had a lot in common. He's a Florida State fan like me, bro. Yeah. You know. So
you stole the client.
I stole the client, bro.
Let's just get to the point. So you stole the client. Before we go, did you have to have a conversation with your guy? Like, hey, man, Kelly is coming to me now.
No, that wasn't for me to do. That's between Kelly and the barber. It wasn't. That had nothing to do with me. I'm just serving, bro. I'm just doing what I do.
I remember one time when I was going over to a shop over there off of Cobb, and I went to one barber, and I knew the guy. Just knew him from the gym, and he had started cutting. It was right by my crib, so I went to him. And he was all right, but he wasn't like, it wasn't nothing. I'm just bald, so it wasn't a big deal. But then the other guy I met over at the Battery, and so I just went to him. And I remember when I came in, my guy who I know saw me. He was like, "Oh, what up?" I was like, "What's up, bro?" And I went to the other chair.
So he had no idea that you weren't there for him.
Yeah.
That you weren't there for him.
Yeah. He thought I was.
So he dapped you up. He took the cape off his chair. Like, all right, it's time.
Yeah, like, bro. My guy.
So that's on you. That's on you.
And I never thought about it because, I mean, you're the only barber that I go to faithfully. Everything else, I'm just trying to get it cut. So I don't think about it like that. But that's so true. Like, I guess in the fitness industry, they do have that kind of unwritten rule in a sense. Like, this is my client. Man. But you know that person's journey is so personal that I never really thought about it like that, because it's that person's journey. Yeah, but Kelly is a perfect example of somebody that I feel like what you taught him, it's an evergreen system. He'll eat off of it as long as he wants to do it. Yep. And some of those skills that you taught him on customer service, on customer retention, on just, being a professional and a businessman, no matter what he does, those are skill sets that he can
Absolutely,
take with
man.
him.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It's dope because it is evergreen in the skill set, and it will transcend industries, like you said, within fitness. I think any professional that is used to making money just by using their hands or their craft can benefit from it. But I think I need to start with I'm gonna start with haircutting, bro. That's where I'm putting it to the test. But believe me, this is something that can work. You said welcome.
This is our 5 a.m. cause about us sticking to a niche and not what focus do we have now. So I get it. And then for you, when you launch this course, what do you truly like? What's the end goal, or what do you want to see out of this?
Great question. So let's rewind back to early in my career, like when I first decided I was gonna start to market myself. So I use social media like everybody, right? Mm-hmm. My first Instagram name. Do you remember my first name was on Instagram?
Mike Andrews. I thought. What was it?
It was I Raised the Barber.
Oh yeah! Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I Raised the Barber. My first business cards had my name, and then it had the slogan "Raising the Bar and Barber."
Yep.
So my Instagram was like, yeah, it's got to be something like that. I Raised the Barber. Yeah. So that's where I went first. I forgot why I switched it.
By the way, that's so dope. I'm hoping that you're gonna tie, because I got the perfect tie-in for I Raised the Barber. But I'm listening.
Yeah. People have jumped on it. You know, they put it on some shirts and all that. So you know, I kind of all right, y'all can have that. That was an idea that I ain't necessarily trademark. So y'all can have that. Then I switched to Ideal Barber Group. Mm-hmm. So I went from I Raised the Barber to Ideal Barber Group, and some of my followers were confused because they were like, "Well, did you do this haircut? You know what I mean? Like, is this a shop page?" So from the beginning, bro, like I think my mindset was on elevating the industry. It was never really about promoting self-promotion. I don't know if that's something that I just didn't feel comfortable with as just how I came up, but I just always knew that I wanted to raise the standards and then use the platform to then increase the overall, you know what I mean, the overall ecosystem of barbers, man. And I think for me, that's why I wanted to compete. But I knew that when I started in the shop, there were 17 of the barbers who can all cut. Like, it's not much difference between me and them. Like, I use the analogy, like, it's like having 17 McDonald's on the same street. Yep. What makes my Big Mac any different from your Big Mac? Yep. So I was like, all right, so I got to bring something else to the table. And so it was, for me, it was the structure, it was professionalism, it was punctuality. Then I started to realize that I'm building a dope following. People were actually respect this, because I wanted to be the barber that I would want to go to, right? Exactly. Haircutting is dope, right? And you got a bald head. And any barber, your daughter, Ocean, can do a bald head if she wanted to. Well, you taught
my wife during the pandemic.
I did, the touch-up kit. That was Ideal Barber touch-up kit.
That was perfect, bro. The Ideal Barber touch-up kit was perfect.
Man. So I knew early in my career that, like, I wanted to elevate the industry, man. And I had to test it. So I hit 6 figures myself, and I was like, that's cool. I'm excited. That's my personal goal. I hit that. But it's not real until I can help somebody else do it. That's why I know it's something that's duplicatable, right? Because somebody else outside of my skill set do the same thing. So when I opened up Ideal Barbershop, that was the goal, man. Like, it wasn't just to, have these chairs for a certain booth rent amount. It was, I'm trying to make 6-figure barbers. From day one, I'm trying to make 6-figure barbers.
That's so interesting to me, because when I talk to other entrepreneurs or other, like,
it's hot up here, bro.
Yeah, it is, man. Other visionaries, I think it's innate. I think the thought of being kind of like a leader of people, or like a gatherer of people, or like you said, is raising the standard. Because everything that I've ever done, I've always thought I really have. Yep. Like, before we were ever like Torch Fitness, blah, 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 I've always, like, I remember back in the day, trainers would be like, body by Ty, body by, you know what I mean? Or trainer Ted, or, you know what I mean? It was always like about them. But I never really took that approach. I always made it about a group. Even like when people would say, man, you have a Zumba person, or I would always be like, yeah, we got a team. Yep. And I always prided myself on having a team. Sure, man. And like I grew into those shoes.
You think it might be the sports background in you?
Man,
Like
I don't
playing
know.
team sports?
Because we know a lot of sports guys that don't have that thought process. I really want to dig into that. Yes. Now, the mentality as you're playing the sport matters, you know. But I do think that there's something about that because I think, you know, we share like Kenny. Kenny has that. Charles has that. Like certain guys, certain people have that. And I almost wonder, like, is that just innate? Is that just like you don't even know what you're going to do? You might be the solopreneur, but you're already, like, your tag is bigger than that.
Yep.
You know? And, yeah, that's just really interesting, man. Well, you know, we on 20. I wanted to keep this quick. So I felt like we got some good stuff. But,
man.
But you know, we'll have more episodes. We'll record more. It's getting hot up here. I should have put on an AC, bro.
At least a ceiling fan or something.
I should have put on an AC. But, hey, man, we made it. Welcome to another episode of Do the Math.
Hey, thanks for having me.